And you've already had one of those moments. You didn't plan it. You didn't even know what it meant when it happened. But it sent a ripple through the heavens, a shockwave, and it broke something open that was supposed to stay locked for generations. Not because you shouted, not because you tried to make a scene, but because you did something no one expected. Not even the ones watching you spiritually. You chose what hadn't been chosen in your bloodline before. You responded to pain in a way that didn't repeat the pattern. You walked away from what your past was still calling home. And that, dear one, that changed the entire arrangement. You see, most people think that spiritual cycles are broken with dramatic gestures. But the truth? Heaven doesn't always move when you're loud. Heaven moves when you're aligned. And something you did, quietly, courageously, possibly with trembling hands, was so aligned with truth that it shattered spiritual agreements that were never yours to carry in the first place. Let me make this personal. You were never supposed to live in that kind of emotional torment, that guilt, that shame, that quiet punishment in your thoughts. That wasn't discipline. It was a generational lie dressed up like a lesson. And when you stopped agreeing with it, even internally, it was like the spiritual contract expired right then and there. You didn't just heal yourself. You disarmed something that had ruled over your entire lineage. And even though you felt it inside, you have to fully own it within before the outside can reflect it. Here's the part that no one tells you. There are spiritual patterns that have existed for so long, even heaven allows them to run their course unless someone interrupts them with purity. Not performance, not perfection, just purity. And that's what you did. You made a decision, or maybe it was just a pause, where you chose love over ego, stillness over revenge, boundaries over begging, and it was unseen by most, but not by God. Heaven saw you pause before retaliating. Heaven saw you whisper a prayer when you could have chosen pettiness. Heaven saw you walk away without needing to win. And that is the move that made heaven shift the system for you. Because sometimes the pattern has to start over, because of one move that didn't follow the script. And God, who honors alignment more than appearance, decided to reroute the next chapter in your life. Yes, that one moment, that one soul-level decision rearranged what was scheduled, because what you did sent a signal through the spirit that you were ready for more than just survival. You were ready for spiritual authority, not just freedom for yourself, but the kind of freedom that makes you a door for others. You thought you were just surviving a storm, but you were rewriting the forecast for everyone after you. This is the kind of divine shift that doesn't just reward you with comfort, it upgrades your access. And here's something wild. There were rules in place, not punishment, just divine rhythms, spiritual laws, and generational echo patterns that repeat until someone does something different. And you did exactly that. When heaven saw it, God said, "Make an exception. Start the blessing early. We have a new leader in the bloodline." That's not favoritism. That's divine trust. Because it's not that you were better. It's that you were available. It's that you were aware enough to not numb out. It's that you didn't use your pain to justify harming others. It's that you stayed open when it would have been easier to shut down. You held the line with no one cheering, and heaven kept score when nobody else did. So now, the systems that once delayed you are being dismantled. The patterns that once pulled you backward are now looking for somewhere else to land. Because You're no longer available for the repetition. You're not under it. You're above it. And the moment you chose not to repeat it, something ancestral broke. Let that sink in. The things your parents apologized for but couldn't stop. The wounds your grandparents tried to normalize. The silent patterns you were too young to name but always felt. They were all waiting for someone to say, "It ends here." And you said it, not with words, but with your walk, your restraint, your decision not to become what hurt you. You walked away from something old and stepped into a covenant that was always waiting for someone new. And now comes the part where everything feels unfamiliar. Not because you're lost, but because you're walking in territory no one showed you how to claim. You're stepping through fields that your ancestors only dreamed about. And the strange part, it feels quiet. Not dramatic, not loud, but deeply still. Like you're finally breathing your own air. This is what it feels like when you break a spiritual system. And here's the beautiful tension of it all. You might still feel tired. You might still be questioning, was that even a big deal? But something in your life already knows, because the atmosphere around you is already responding. The people who used to trigger you now feel distant, not just physically, spiritually, like their grip was broken and you didn't even notice until the next time they tried to pull you in and it didn't work. You used to spiral. Now you pause. You used to over-explain. Now your silence speaks louder than words. You used to brace for conflict. Now you walk away before the fight even begins. That's not apathy. That's mastery. The kind of mastery that's birthed in silence, not spotlight. And it's the kind of shift that doesn't need applause to be powerful. Let me paint the picture for you. Imagine a hallway in your soul, lined with doors, each one marked by patterns you inherited, picked up, or were pressured into. One door says self-doubt, another emotional debt, another never enough. And for years you walked that hallway as if those were the only rooms you were allowed to enter. But now, because of that one unseen move, those doors have started to dissolve. And ahead of you, there's a door with your name on it. One that doesn't just say new season or answered prayer. It says first of its kind, because that's who you are now. The first in your lineage to respond this way. The first to feel the pain and not pass it on. The first to walk through the fire and still keep your spirit intact. The first to say no to the familiar chaos. And yes to a peace that no one modeled for you. This road is harder. There's no script to follow. There's no one cheering from behind saying, "You're doing it right." But heaven is thundering. And now the blessing is coming, not as a reward, but as a recognition. God saw that you didn't retaliate when you were betrayed. He saw the restraint that no one else thanked you for. He saw you choose emotional intelligence when you could have chosen destruction. He saw you act from who you are, not what you went through. And heaven said, "That's enough. Shift the pattern. Bring the new blueprint." And here's what's coming next. Not just favor. Foundation. Because you didn't just break something. You built something new in the spirit. Every small decision to protect your peace, every moment you chose not to chase validation, every time you loved without keeping score, it all became architecture. Heaven started constructing something with your quiet yes, a legacy, a spiritual landscape that others will now walk through freely because you paved the road. Your life is now echoing in realms you cannot see, not as noise, as permission. You're the reason someone else will feel safe to choose differently. You're the evidence that another way is possible. You're the living proof that love can interrupt the cycle. And now, the shift is making its way into the physical. Opportunities will feel random, but they're not. Certain doors will open because your name carries new spiritual clearance. The favor that once felt withheld is now rushing in, like it's been waiting for you to become this version of yourself. And what used to be patterns, they've become past tense. So if your world feels quieter right now, if your life looks unfamiliar, if your old triggers feel weak, and your new peace feels strange, don't question it. You're not disoriented, you're repatterned. The old grip is broken. The new path is unfolding. And it's not just about you. You broke something for generations. You became the reason God made an exception. Because in a moment when everything could have gone backward, you moved forward. Quietly, decisively, powerfully. And heaven said, let's build a future on that. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.